Good morning to all and welcome to the session, the Hindu Editorial Analysis for Proficiency in English. I would like to start the session with a nice quote. What is today's quote? The only way to do great work is to love what you do. Love whatever you do. Eventually, it results in great work. A very useful quote, and it goes with your preparation as well. Coming to today's editorial is all about a particular incident that happened in the state of Madhya Pradesh. It starts with collective punishment. And today's editorial, whatever I'm going to do, it is completely objective, not subjective. That means I may do the analysis from whatever the editorial says from that particular perspective, not my personal stand. I want all of you to remember I am going to do the analysis based on what the editorial says, and it is completely objective in nature, not subjective. Objective means based on what the editorial says. Subjective means personal. It is not personal, purely objective. Coming to vocabulary, editorial vocabulary, some important words are there we have got for the first time. Let us go to the first one, the very first word, demolition. Part of speech, noun. It comes from the word demolish. Demolish is a verb, demolition, noun. What does it mean? Usually it goes with a building, it goes with a structure, concrete structure. The act of destroying something such as a building or other structure. Here, structure means a concrete structure. You all know the word demolish a building. From that, you get demolition. The second word, riot. From the word riot, we have the noun. This is also a noun. We have another noun, the person, rioter. Riot means an occasion when a large number of people behave in a noisy, violent, and uncontrolled way in public. A lot of people, group of people, they try to behave in an uncontrolled way. In an uncontrolled way, then it results in a riot, and the persons are called rioters. Noun. Pinning we have got for the first time. It has many meanings in this context, but the basic meaning or the typical meaning, then I will talk about the meaning in this context. Hold someone firmly in a specified position so they are unable to move. But in this context, it means something like you are pointing out someone. You say someone is responsible for a particular act, pinning someone responsible. And part of speech, verb. Pin can be a noun, can be a verb, but in this context, it is a verb. Monk singular, monks plural. That means it is a noun. A member of a group of religious men who do not marry and usually live together in a monastery. When it comes to women, we use the word nuns. Here, men, Buddhist monks. Usually, monks goes with Buddhism, and nuns it goes with Christianity. A member of a group of religious men who do not marry and usually live together in a monastery. Buddhist monk, a typical combination. Obscene. This goes with everyday English as well as effective English. Part of speech, adjective. And the typical combinations, obscene comment, obscene poster, offending against moral principles, repugnant, something that is disgusting, not decent. When we say obscene movie, obscene poster, obscene behavior, something that is not decent enough, something that is repugnant or disgusting. Retaliation, this comes from the word retaliate. Retaliate, verb, retaliation, noun. What does it mean? Make an attack in return for a similar attack. Someone attacks you and you try to attack back. Then we use the word retaliate. He tried to retaliate. Retaliate, verb, retaliation, noun. Allege, we have got many a time. And this is the verb allege. What is a noun form? Allegation. Means what? Claim or assert that someone has done something illegal or wrong, typically without proof. You can also think of the word accusation. Accuse someone or allege means what? You say someone has done something wrong, but you don't have enough proof. Then we use the word allegation or accusation. Encroachment, this goes with everyday English. It also goes with newspaper English. Quite often you come across the word encroachment, singular, noun, encroachments, plural. What does it mean? Intrusion. Intrude means to enter without permission. Intrusion on a person's territory or rights. Usually it goes with territory. That too, government property. If someone tries to intrude into government's property or on a government's property, then we use the word encroachment. And sometimes in big cities, you come across the police, they try to remove the encroachments, especially on the footpath. Zeal is an important word. Part of speech noun, great energy or enthusiasm in pursuit of a cause or an objective. You should have the zeal to achieve success. Means what? The passion, the enthusiasm, the energy. Mar is a verb, marred. It's a regular verb. Spoil, impair the quality or appearance of something, but simply you can remember the word spoil something. Marred the event means spoiled the event, otherwise a good event. Motivate, from this you get motivating, motivation. Motivate means what? The driving force. Some force inside makes you do certain things. That force is called motivation. Provide with a reason for doing something, the reason behind. Motivation, an important factor. The problem with motivation initially 100% when you start something, but slowly it comes down. And because of that, if you go to the corporate world, big companies quite often they conduct motivation workshops. They want the employees to be motivated all the time, but the problem with motivation, slowly it comes down. Tacit, we have got for the first time an important word, part of speech adjective, understood or implied without being stated. Implied, indirect, not. You can also think of the word implicit, implied. Provoke, we have got many a time, part of speech verb. What does it mean? Deliberately make someone annoyed or angry. You try to make someone angry and do something that is not acceptable, then we use the word provoke. Don't provoke him, don't provoke her. Disseminate, an important word, though we have got once or twice, and last time also I told it goes with information. Something, especially information. Disseminate means spread widely. You try to spread information to every nook and corner, then we use the term dissemination of information. This is an important word. Upsurge, surge. Upsurge, noun. There is an upsurge, means what? Upward surge. Surge you have got so many times. What does it mean? A sudden forward movement, one meaning, and also a sudden increase in something, another meaning. An upward surge in the strength or quantity of something, an increase. Simply you can remember surge, upsurge, they mean an increase in something. Genocide have given many a time in competitive exams under one word substitutes. Genocide, part of speech noun, what does it mean? The deliberate killing of a large number of people from a particular nation or ethnic group with the aim of destroying that nation or group. Usually it goes with a race, killing people of a particular race or community. We use the word genocide, an important word. Tenor, we have got for the first time. Another important word, noun, the character or usual pattern of something. The tenor means the character or the feature or the usual pattern of something. Portray, portrayal, portrait, related words. Portray means describe someone or something in a particular way. Portray a particular character, a particular person, an important word. Culprit. This goes with crime. Part of speech, noun, culprit, singular, culprits, plural. A person who is responsible for a crime or other misdeed. A person who commits crime, we use the word culprit. He is a culprit. Mete out, it's a phrasal verb actually, an important one. Mete out, to give or order a punishment or make someone receive cruel or unfair treatment. Mete out goes with a negative context, to give someone something like unfair treatment, to treat someone in an unfair manner, meted out with something. Discreet, careful and prudent in one's speech or actions, especially in order to keep something confidential or to avoid embarrassment. Careful and prudent. This is a positive word. Discreet remark. Careful and prudent in one's speech or actions, especially in order to keep something confidential or to avoid embarrassment. So, an important word. Othering, we have got for the first time. View or treat as intrinsically different from and alien to oneself. You treat a particular group or a particular person, usually it goes with a group or community or religious group, different from and alien to oneself. Alien has two different meanings. One meaning, extraterrestrial life. You come across life from other planets, other stars. Then we use the term extraterrestrial. One meaning, alien, aliens, plural. Alien also means foreigner. But when it comes to usage, you see a foreigner, you cannot use a word, you cannot say he is an alien. That sounds derogatory. That is not acceptable. We have to use the word foreigner. Alien has a different connotation altogether. So many new words. Now let us go to the editorial. I would like to reiterate this editorial has taken a negative stand, completely negative stand, categorical in that negative stand against a particular state government, that is Madhya Pradesh. Whatever I'm going to do, it is purely objective in nature based on what the editorial says. That means factual, not subjective. That means not a personal stand. Please do remember that. How does it start? Collective punishment. Collective punishment. Punishing a lot of people together, collective punishment, but you cannot make out. So this editorial is based on a particular incident that happened in the state of Madhya Pradesh. When you read this sentence, you understand what it is about. The demolition of rioters' property in MP is part of a wider agenda targeting Muslims. The main idea, the very first sentence, categorical, clearly talks about the stand taken by the editorial. The stand is negative. The demolition, there's one important word, demolition. Demolish means what? Destroy a building, the act of destroying something, usually a building or concrete structure. The demolition of rioters, a rioter, you get this from the word riot. Riot means what? An occasion when a large number of people behave in a noisy, violent, uncontrolled way in public. In public, they try to attack the public property. Then we use the term a riot. Oh, wonderful. Congratulations, Ishwari. That's very good. My pleasure. So here, a rioter, from riot, you get the people who are involved in the riot. We use the term rioters. A rioter, singular, rioters, plural. So what is the main idea of this editorial? The demolition, destruction or destroying the buildings or property. The demolition of a rioter's property in Madhya Pradesh is part of a wider agenda targeting Muslims. Clear, crystal clear stand taken by the editorial. I would like to reiterate. You may ask, sir, why do you say so many times? Because some students think whatever I do here, it is personal, it is subjective. This is not a platform to express the personal views. This is a platform to enrich your English proficiency. That is one thing. This is a platform for that enrichment, English proficiency. I use editorial, and whatever I do, the analysis, it is based on the what? Based on what the editorial says. Do remember that. So the main idea is crystal clear that demolition of rioters' property in MP is part of a wider agenda targeting Muslims. Now, this is based on a particular incident. Obviously, it has to talk about that particular incident. Now, let us go to how it starts, how it goes about. The rule of law, whatever is underlined, an important phrase or an important expression, important from exam point of view. A wider agenda, remember the phrase, a wider agenda, a narrow agenda. Next one, the rule of law, an important phrase. The rule of law has a new interpretation in Madhya Pradesh. What is that new interpretation? It is whatever is done by the rulers, whatever the rulers do, that is rule of law. One thing, new interpretation, and requires neither law nor process. Usually, whatever we do, we have to do within the framework of the law and we have to abide by rules and regulations. But here it says the rule of law has a new interpretation in Madhya Pradesh. What is that new interpretation? It is whatever is done by the rulers. Whatever the rulers do, that is law and requires neither law nor process. Then it talks about the incident, the demolition of about 45 pieces of property, both houses and shops. Both takes end, that you have to recollect. Common error, a lot of people say both as well as, that is a wrong combination, both and a right combination. The demolition of about 45 pieces of property, both houses and shops, allegedly belonging to rioters at Kargo, a day after a procession to mark Ram Navami, does not appear to be based on any law. This talks about the incident. What is the incident? Demolition of about 45 pieces of property, both houses and shops, allegedly belonging to rioters at a particular place, Cargo. Rioters already have given the meaning. A day after a procession to mark Ram Navami does not appear to be based on any law. Here are so many phrases, but the main idea of the sentence, the demolition, the act of demolition, does not appear to be based on any law. That you have to grasp. It is undoubtedly an instance of collective punishment for the alleged acts of a few, usually rioters, or something that happens in public. The crowd resorts to violence. It is not because of all the people present over there, usually, and not all the people belonging to a particular community. It is because of a few. But a few, they do something that is not acceptable, that goes against law. Based on that, all the people belong to a particular community. If they are punished, that is something not based on law. That's what the editorial says. It is undoubtedly an instance, event, incident of collective punishment for the alleged acts of a few. A few have done something, but collective punishment for the alleged acts of a few. There is little doubt, again underlined, little doubt, little, a little, the little. Little means hardly anything, almost nothing. Negative connotation. There's little doubt means there's no doubt. There's little doubt that it was a state backed drive aimed at Muslims. Again, the stand taken by the editorial. It says this particular act of demolishing the property belonging to a particular community, instead of punishing a few responsible for the violence, it is nothing but, the editorial opines, there is little doubt that it was a state backed drive aimed at Muslims. The basis for the action is the allegation that, what is the basis of for the action or demolition? Allegation, a particular allegation. What is that allegation or accusation? The basis for the action is the allegation that the Hindu procession was targeted by stones as it passed through a lane adjacent to a mosque, adjacent next to. So, what is the allegation? Because of on the occasion of, on the eve of Ram Navami, a procession, Hindu procession, next to, when it entered a particular lane or it passed through a lane adjacent to a mosque, there was an incident of people throwing a few, not all, stones at the procession. The basis for the action is the allegation that the Hindu procession was targeted by stones, stone pelting, as it passed through a lane, an important phrase, expression, passed through a lane adjacent to a mosque, next to a mosque. An official spin is sought to be given to the demolition drive that these were encroachments and were removed under existing rules. Obviously, something like demolishing a lot of properties of a few people, not based on a solid reason, then they try to defend or they try to justify. This sentence talks about that official justification. An official spin is sought to be given to the demolition drive that these were encroachments and were removed under existing rules. Obviously, encroachments the government has a right to remove. So, how did they try to defend? They try to defend saying that it is not based on the event or incident, stone pelting, but because these are encroachments and based on the rules, encroachments are always anywhere in the country. Encroachment, something not acceptable legally, and were removed under existing rules. That was a justification. But the editorial says, however, the zeal means what? Enthusiasm, passion, energy, or enthusiasm to do something in pursuit of a cause or an objective. However, the zeal shown in bringing in bulldozers, bulldozer, you all know it is used in the construction sector. It is used to move huge rocks. Bulldozers a day after violence marred the Ram Navami procession indicates that punishing those suspected of involvement was the main motivating factor. Though the government, Madhya Pradesh government said it was nothing but a drive to remove encroachments based on the rules, existing rules, the editorial opines contrasting information. However, the zeal shown in bringing in bulldozers a day after violence marred the Ram Navami procession. Mar means spoil, an important word. Indicates that punishing those suspected of involvement was the main motivating factor. The main factor motivating provide with a reason for doing something. The motivating factor, the editorial opines, not encroachments, but punishing those suspected of involvement related to Ram Navami procession. Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan has warned that rioters would not be spared and that action would not be limited to arrest. Usually, whenever there is some sort of a rioting, people are arrested. But your statement given by the Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh, Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan, has warned that rioters would not be spared. No one will be spared. That means they are going to take action. Those who are involved, they will be arrested. And that action would not be limited to arrest, but would extend to recovery of damages from property owned by them. Usually, what happens whenever a group of people resort to rioting, they are arrested. But here, one more dimension. What is the second dimension? Would extend to recovery of damages from property owned by them. The legal basis. Now, what is the legal basis of this? Editorial talks about that. The legal basis is possibly a 2009 order of the Supreme Court permitting the pinning of the blame on organizers of an event if it ends in violence and recovering compensation from them against clients. This talks about recovering compensation in the form of uh, property. They try to do something to the property. This talks about the legal basis of this particular act. However, in spite of that, however, even that was allowed only after the involvement in the violence was proved. To do that, to touch the property, something has to be proved. They can do that, was allowed only after the involvement in the violence was proved. An element clearly absent here in this context. Hindutva outfits have been for some time now targeting Muslim businesses with calls for boycott and dissemination of rumors about their practices. Now, this talks about a particular outfit. Hindutva outfits have been for some time now an important expression targeting Muslim businesses with calls for boycott, one thing, and dissemination of rumors about their practices. Dissemination, an important word. Disseminate means spread widely, especially information. In the backdrop, that is an important phrase, in the backdrop of an upsurge in calls for violence against Muslims, upsurge, upsurge one and the same, upward surge, sudden forward movement or increase, sudden increase. In calls for violence against Muslims, some with a genocidal tenor. Genocide, the act of killing people of a particular race or community. Tenor, the characteristic feature, character, or usual pattern of something. This talks about a few outfits, Hindutva outfits, and the stand taken by those outfits and what exactly they are up to. The three or four sentences. In the backdrop of an upsurge in calls for violence against Muslims, some with a genocidal tenor, there's reason to believe that there's a larger agenda, wider agenda, larger agenda behind the various incidents of communal color taking place. Editorial opines behind all this there is a larger agenda. What is that? The objective seems to be to provoke some sort of retaliation so that they can be portrayed as culprits and severe punishment, both legal and extra legal, meted out. So the editorial says all the behind all this is something like a larger or wider agenda. And what is the main objective? Seems to be, looks like, provoke some sort of retaliation, provoke, make someone angry or annoyed and make them do something, provoke some sort of retaliation, retaliate, make an attack in return for a similar attack, so that they can be portrayed, projected, described as culprits. Culprit, someone who does, commits crime, and severe punishment, both legal and extra legal, meted out. Mete out, an important expression. To give or order a punishment or make someone receive a cruel or unfair treatment. This talks about provoking someone in such a way that you do something, they retaliate. Based on that retaliation, they are portrayed or projected as culprits. And because they are portrayed as culprits, then obviously they are meted out with unfair treatment. That's what the sentence talks about. The ordering of Muslims, a new word we have got for the first time. What does it mean? View or treat as intrinsically different from and alien to oneself or one group. The ordering of Muslims is no more discreet. Discreet means careful in one's speech or actions, especially in order to keep something confidential. But no more discreet means not no longer discreet, it is more public, but is being actively promoted in public and shared through social media. In some disturbing visuals, men appearing to be saffron robed monks. Saffron means orange, robed, the clothes. Monk, already have given the meaning, a member of a group of religious men who do not marry and usually live together in a monastery, are seen handing out death and rape threats. The sight of crowds dancing with raised swords and saffron flags outside mosques, even as obscene slogans, obscene, indecent, not acceptable, something repugnant, and provocating. Again, you have got the word provoke. From that, you get provocative. Songs are being played has become a defining visual in the Hindutva project. This here editorial talks about Hindutva outfits and in the Hindutva project, what exactly the different elements or the different dimensions. May be right, may not be right. Do remember, this is the opinion, editorial opines, opinion, stand taken by the editorial. The country should not be, based on all this, the editorial says, the country should not be allowed to be driven towards an atmosphere of communal tension with the tacit support, tacit, an important word, implied, not direct, indirect, tacit support of the government machinery in several states. Not a good thing for the country, not a good thing for the state. That's all about the editorial. Now let us go to a very short editorial. Still, it has taken almost 30 minutes. What are the questions you can think of based on this editorial? What is this editorial about? What does not appear to be based on any law? No, no, I said I'm not going to give the PDF, Ashish Sharma. I would like to tell all of you, I'm not going to give the PDF in the sense I'm going to come out with a magazine, English for Competitive Exams magazine, and you have to subscribe. If you subscribe, then you get the PDF. That I'm going to, tomorrow I'm going to come up with a video, watch that video, and that is going to be very useful. The magazine, the same editorial with answers, the same practice questions with answers, explanation, more information, and you have to subscribe. I have given the PDFs for almost 2 years, but now I decided to bring it out in the form of a magazine so that you get benefited in the real sense with answers, more information, and one has to subscribe. What indicates that punishing those suspected of involvement was the main motivating factor? Something indicates that punishing those suspected of involvement was the main motivating factor. What is being actively promoted in public and shared through social media? Promoted in public, actively promoted in public, and shared through social media. What has become a defining visual in the Hindutva project? Defining visual in the Hindutva project. Let us go to download the app. Murthy's English response has been very good. These are the features. And right now, two courses still enrollment is open. English course banks morning 10 o'clock and descriptive English. Let us go to practice questions based on exam topics. The first five questions, error location. Read the first sentence. Despite economic strains in the past, Sri Lanka had maintained an unblemished record, an important word, spotless, of debt servicing that made the country a favorable partnership for creditors. Where is the error? Sentence number one, error location. Despite economic strains in the past, Sri Lanka had maintained an unblemished record. Unblemished skin, unblemished face, unblemished character, image means spotless. Very good, Bharat. Record, unblemished record of debt servicing that made the country a favorable. Partnership is a noun, but we cannot use this form, a favorable partner. What is the right form? Partner. A favorable partner, not partnership. Favorable partner for creditors. Partner is the right word. Question is based on word forms. Question number two. Agents and educational consultants who helped them to obtain fake certificates and fudged documents were also picked up by the police. Fudge means change, defining innings. Okay. Agents and educational consultants who helped them to obtain fake certificates and fudged documents were also picked up by the police. Yes. Here there is a causative verb. What is a causative verb? Help. What are the causative verbs? Help, make, have, get. But exam point of view, two are important. One is help, the other one make. Causative verbs in active voice don't take the preposition to. So we should not use a preposition to, then it is correct. Help them obtain fake certificates. We are not getting as much we need to end this war sooner. Very good. A lot of students have got it right. Question number three. We are not getting as much we need to end this war sooner. Help, make, have, get. Yes, Prasad. Very good. Nothing wrong with the word sooner. Usually your focus goes to that particular word, but nothing wrong. Manoj has got it right. We are not getting as much as we are not getting as much as we need. We have to use the second as only, then it is grammatically correct. As much as, that is a standard expression. As is missing. Question number four, a lengthy sentence. The WTO said the conflict, now in its seventh week, has damaged the world economy at a critical juncture as the pandemic and Chinese lockdown specifically continue to weigh on the recovery. No response. Question number four. Here, there is a reporting verb. Whenever you come across words like said, told, ordered, requested, asked, you have to think of indirect speech. Here, reporting verb. It is in past. Then the tenses change to a corresponding past tense. We cannot use has damaged. Present perfect changes to past perfect. Had damaged. So this is all about speech. Present perfect changes to past perfect. Why does it change? Because a reporting verb is in past. What is a reporting verb here? Said. Consumers in rural India faced higher level of inflation to urban residents, with overall rural inflation 154 basis points higher at 7.66%. This is also an easy one if you read meticulously. Yes, Sujatha, you're right. Speech related. It's always better if you make a note. You should ask the question, what is this about? What is this question about? And make a note. That helps in the long run. Yes, very good. Who is this? Satish Kumar. Consumers in rural India faced higher level of inflation. Two is not correct. Higher level of inflation than urban residents. Comparative form, we have to use the word than, not the preposition to. Has anyone got all the five correct? Error location, higher than. Please respond. Has anyone got all the five correct? Now you have para jumble, interesting one. It's a fact. All the five correct, then highly appreciable. Four is also pretty good. Sai Arvind. Four, Gangu. Four, you should be happy. Good. Let us go to para jumble. B is not the first one. No, 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 no. Same wavelength. I see one student B, a lot of students B. B is not the first one. Please don't be hasty. It is not that easy. Just like that, you get the first one. You got to spend some time. And if you get the first one wrong, you're just completely off the track. You lose marks, not advisable. Bharat says F is the first one. No. No one has got the first one so far. No, 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 not FEB, not F. Please, I would like to repeat, I don't mind repeating. Don't be hasty when it comes to para jumbles. Just like that, you cannot get the correct order. Raghu is the first one to get it right. Raghu, very good. I appreciate. After that, I see Prashant also, then some more students, Hari Krishna, Ramu, and Prashant. D is the first one. Known as India's Silicon Valley, Bangalore is a melting pot of cultures and has one of the largest tech talent pools in India. D is the first one. And this sentence talks about the brand image, the image related to Bangalore city. It is known as, once it was known before 80s, 1980s, Garden City of India, Pensioners Paradise. Now new tags, India's Silicon Valley. Known as India's Silicon Valley, Bangalore is a melting pot of cultures and has one of the largest tech talent pools in India. And that is a brand. Based on that, what is the second one? C is the second one. This brand value is perceived as getting dented owing to the recent communal skirmishes. So DC one pair. Then you have to think of Alarmed by the controversies about wearing hijabs in classrooms, the sale of halal meat, and the drive to evict Muslim traders from temple premises, FE, and the possible impact on Karnataka's global standing in business and technology. Then it talks about Biocon chairperson Kiran Mazumdar Shaw called on Chief Minister Basavaraj Bommai to resolve the growing religious divide. A lot of students have said B is the first one, B is the last one. One shot, huh? That's very good, Prasad's. DC, after that, FEAB. Very good. Let us go to the next set of questions. Double fillers. Hyderabad Pharmacy Biotech Hub, Bangalore IT Hub. All these are names given to different cities. Yes. Bombay Financial Capital. Rachna saw me for a bus. She stopped and me a lift. The first five questions, my questions, Parajumble, mine, but here double fillers from previous year's papers. You can get an idea. The standards. Rachna saw me standing for a bus, stopped for a bus, walking for a bus, testing for a bus. All these options not acceptable. Waiting for a bus. Rachna saw me waiting for a bus, and obviously, what is the reaction? She stopped and offered me a lift. Answer is the fifth option. No, no, waiting for a bus. Yes, that's right. During winter, we can ourselves from the cold by wearing, we can protect ourselves from the cold by wearing warm clothes. Seems right. Establish ourselves. Save. Winter, we don't use the word save. Stop ourselves does not make any sense. Escape ourselves, again, no. Answer one reading, you should be able to get it. Protect ourselves from the cold. How? By wearing warm clothes. Answer is the first option. Easy. The school refused to. Acts of behavior. What sort of behavior? That's very good. All the best for tier 2. I know nowadays I don't see different names, unique names popping up. Today also it is different. Kodi Punju. What surprises me, you are talented, you are good at English, you are an active learner and passionate about enriching your knowledge, but you never come up with your actual name. That is a bit strange. The school refused to tolerate, yes, overcome acts, overlook. Why will they do that? They will definitely consider, will not accept, appreciate, no, comment, no. The school refused to tolerate acts of violent behavior. Any school does the same thing. The actor was not by public criticism and paid no, even to the poor reviews in the media. How many out of 25 questions, how many could you get right? The actor was not affected by public criticism and paid no attention, seems right. Troubled by public criticism, paid no mind, paid no regard, paid no justification, paid no notices. These are not acceptable. Based on that, affected was not affected by public criticism and paid no attention even to the poor reviews in the media. Answer is the first option. Contextual awareness. Fillers always go with contextual awareness. Kodipunju has not answered my question. Out of 25, how many could you get right? Oh, Sonarika, you're here after a long time. 23. That's good. Good. That is very good. Because of negative marking, when you're not sure, not advisable to touch. Keep away. Restrain yourself from touching difficult questions. The words of the teacher comforted. This is a clue. The student. Then you need positive words. Harsh, negative. Encouraging. Hold this one. Reality, not relevant. Wise, no, because happy student, not correct. Distractor, not. We need a positive word. The encouraging words of the teacher comforted the anxious student. Obviously, that will be the positive impact. Answer is the second option. You must have got all the five correct. Now let us go to phrasal verbs today. 2346. That's good. The publishers are planning to an expensive edition of their new dictionary. All the five correct. Very good. Be happy. Bharat says bring out. Very good. The publishers are planning to bring out. Bring out means publish. Here, fourth option. The publishers are planning to bring out an expensive edition of the new dictionary. The new employee seems to be called on, gave way, cried out. Well off means rich. Answer is the fifth option. The local communities against the gross injustice meted out. Today in the editorial we have got mete out. Even here you have the same meted out to them. Cried out. Answer is the third option. Object. The rope while they were hauling up the pillar, pulling up the pillar, gave way. Snap also you can say. Our neighbors, us yesterday, called on. Call on means a visit, a short visit. Has anyone got all the five correct phrasal verbs? That's also very good. Is any exam this Sunday? Saturday, Sunday, is any exam? Disseminate, verb, dissemination, noun. Spread information widely. C is the answer. Upsurge, surge. Part of speech, noun. Sudden increase, upward movement, upward surge. Four is also good. All the five, very good. Shaker. Oh, that could be the reason. Today the number has come down. Upsurge, what is the answer? E is the answer. Genocide, an important word. Please remember, they have given many a time. Noun. Killing people of a particular race. I is the answer. Tenor, part of speech, noun. Usual pattern or character of something. Feature, usual feature of something. Culprit, singular, culprits, plural. Someone who commits crime. Oh, persons responsible for crime. Mete out. Make someone receive unfair treatment. In a way, it is phrasal verb. Discreet, careful in one's speech or behavior and related to something confidential. careful in one's speech. Ordering, we have got for the first time, part of speech, verb, treat as different from one's community or group. Demolish goes with buildings, destroy something. Here, something means a building or concrete structure. Obscene remark, obscene poster, obscene movie, obscene behavior. Part of speech, adjective. Means what? Indecent or repugnant or disgusting. Has anyone got all the 10 correct? If you say yes, that is highly appreciable. That's all for today. Thanks for being with me till 8:51. Have a nice day. Do remember to subscribe and share. Join the Telegram group. All that you have to do after the session, go to the description of the video and click on the link. Nothing more, nothing less. Okay, that's good. Thank you very much.